This is a book ball summary of the book The Joy of Missing Out by Tanya Dalton. Do you feel like your life has gotten out of control? There's a simple solution to that. You simply need to improve your time management skills. Today, you'll understand the difference between being busy and being productive. You'll also discover how to identify your priorities, eliminate stress, and apply useful tips for living a productive life. You'll learn to embrace the joy of missing out and understand why you don't have to do it all. Number 1. Don't try to achieve balance, focus on what is truly important. We all aspire to have balanced lives. We may believe this requires giving every aspect of our lives the same attention. The truth is, if our lives were completely balanced, we wouldn't progress. Instead, we would be frantically running in circles. It takes concentration and constant counterbalance to move forward. Simply looking for equilibrium isn't enough. To move forward, we must focus on our top priorities. Let's examine why it's so difficult for us to focus. We can categorize life into 3 areas: work, personal, and home. Of course, each of these areas is significant, but it's hard to equally allocate our time, energy, and focus among them. If we spread these 3 resources thinly across all aspects of our lives, we would put a lot of work into achieving very little. But this is often what happens. So why do we do it? Many of us strive for the perfect balance because we believe it's what our society expects of us. However, we must free ourselves from these unrealistic expectations. To achieve this, it's necessary to first identify the expectations and then reject them. Number 2. Defining your life's purpose will help determine the decisions you make. We make several decisions daily, but only a few of us ask ourselves what's guiding our decision making. Having a clear purpose is important for identifying your priorities and making better decisions. Your purpose is a combination of your mission, vision, and core values. Let's examine the definitions of each of these terms. To begin, identify what your mission is. Your mission statement should be brief and easy to memorize. For instance, Nike's mission statement is to bring inspiration and innovation to every athlete in the world. This statement focuses on why they do what they do. Next, let's create a vision statement that outlines where you want to be in the future. Try using a vision board to create your own. To do this, you should ask yourself a few questions like, how do I want to change and develop? How do I improve what I'm doing right now? Use these questions along with the motivational text and pictures on your board to imagine the best possible future. Then make a short and memorable statement from it. Let's now examine core values. These are the words that shape and guide our behaviour. Ideally, your core values should be expressed in 6 words or fewer. When you have your mission, vision, and core values defined, you will have outlined your purpose. However, this process can take some time. Number 3. Set goals and create clear boundaries to help master your focus. To be truly productive, we must prioritise the important things over the little things that take up our time. Consider research completed among Harvard MBA students right before they graduated. Researchers discovered that 84% of the students had not set any goals, while 13% had goals but hadn't written them down. Only 3% had outlined their goals and a plan to achieve them. 10 years later, the researchers discovered that the students who had set abstract goals were earning twice as much as those who did not set any goal, while the 3% who had written their goals down were making 10 times more than the remaining 97% combined. Obviously, setting goals and writing them down is a great motivator, but it's not the only method of learning to focus. We must also create clear boundaries. We need to set boundaries so that we have time to concentrate on the various aspects of our lives, whether work, personal, or home. Number 4. Spend your time on what matters most. Some people may feel productive when they complete a lot of tasks in a short period. But in reality, productivity is more about recognizing and focusing on your priorities rather than getting more done. We should aim for effectiveness instead of efficiency. If we want to become truly effective, we need to eliminate the 3 productivity myths. The first myth is that multitasking is effective. Many of us take pride in our ability to multitask. But multitasking is so alien to us that it reduces our productivity by 40% when we do it. The second myth is that we believe we don't have enough time for a break. Long periods of continuous work exhaust the brain. The third myth is that technology is always better. For instance, did you know that writing your thoughts and plans down instead of typing them is much more effective? This instructs our brain to focus and store information. The reticular activating system is activated when writing by hand. It instructs our brain to focus and store information. Banishing these three myths and concentrating on our priorities will remind us that all things are not equal and should not be treated as such. Number 5. Curate a priority list to identify where to spend your precious energy. We may get overwhelming feelings when struggling with our to-do lists. Surprisingly, most times it's not because we have too much to accomplish. Rather, we just don't know where to begin. A priority list may be useful in this situation. There are 3 levels in a priority list. The first is called Escalate. It contains important and urgent tasks. These include making last-minute modifications to the project after your boss's feedback. They should be given top priority. The next is Cultivate. It includes important but not urgent tasks such as making a financial plan. This level requires most of our energy because it enables us to take the initiative and accomplish our best work. The last level is Accommodate. These are tasks that are urgent but unimportant, like answering calls or emails that are not related to our goals. These things shouldn't be at the top of your priority list. Creating your priority list and organising your tasks into this framework can be difficult, but the clear framework can be useful in this case. If you answer yes to 3 or more clear questions, the task is important to you. If not, it's urgent. The first clear question asks, is it related to your purpose? Other questions in the clear framework include, is it linked to a goal? Is it essential? Is it beneficial? These questions can also help us identify our priorities and remain productive. Number 6. Build up good systems by developing the right habits. We can build a strong system by developing positive habits. Developing good habits will help you conserve your mental energy by providing more time to focus on important things. So, how do you develop positive habits? First, you need to define the habit. Ask yourself why you wish to develop a new habit. Then, identify the cues. They are the stimuli that instruct the brain to engage in a habit. Next, define the behaviour. It takes roughly 66 days to develop a habit, so it can be helpful to identify any justifications you may later make to avoid forming the habit, such as, I'll go tomorrow. If you've predicted the excuse, you'll be prepared to resist the urge to use it when it arises. Lastly, we must develop a strategy that includes the 3 R's: record, reward, and redirect. When you start building your habit, it can be difficult to see any progress, so it's good to record and track your progress. Rewards come next. According to researchers, rewards are crucial in the development of habits. Because rewards signal to the brain that this action is worth remembering for the future. And lastly, learn to redirect. At some point, you will fail. You need to get back up, recover, and redirect your efforts. Number 7. Routines can reduce stress and make your life more enjoyable. Do you find routines empowering or limiting? Although some people may believe that routines drain the joy out of each day, but in reality, they can make life more enjoyable. They streamline activities, conserve brain power, and free up time for other important activities. Some routines are automatic, but we can deliberately design routines to satisfy our needs. Automated routines are particularly helpful when it comes to tasks that we regularly perform, like laundry. Also, jobs that must be done throughout the year can be broken down into smaller and more manageable tasks with the help of automation. For instance, we know that taxes are due in April, so procrastinating sorting our paperwork until the last minute creates unnecessary stress. Why not begin the procedure in January by creating a folder with a checklist for all the required documents? Then, ensure that all the relevant paperwork is filed in February. By March, it's time to schedule an appointment with your accountant, and in April, you could just relax. The beauty of these automated routines is that they allow you to be proactive and do your best work. They make life easier and less stressful for you to manage. Number 8. To be truly productive, give your brain a little space to play and explore. How often do you take a break from your busy schedule? Even though it may be hard, we must all set aside unscheduled time for refreshment and renewal. In other words, we need white space in our lives. We need to deliberately carve out white space, just like many wonderful things, because it doesn't generate itself. Making time for ourselves is a necessity, not a luxury. It's a gateway to greater productivity, concentration, and creativity. If we don't deliberately create white space for ourselves, our brain fills that time with irrelevant activities like checking our phones and surfing social media. According to recent surveys, an average person will use social media for 5 years and 4 months of their lifetime. We can use this time for something far more worthwhile. So how can we create the best white space? It's simple. Set boundaries. However, this goes beyond merely separating physical time. It also requires disconnecting from our daily activities, turning off our devices, and pausing our email. Making time for oneself is an investment that yields amazing results. What's your most important key takeaway? Please comment down below and share the video if you like it. Check out these other 2 videos. Thank you, and until next time.